The world is a theater of masks, and you are the only one in the audience who knows the play is a lie. Most men spend their lives screaming for attention, desperate to be seen, desperate to be heard. But the dark Stoic knows that power resides in the shadows of the periphery. To observe is to hunt without moving a muscle. It is the surgical dissection of the human soul while the subject is still breathing and smiling and lying to your face. You do not look at people. You read them like a ledger of debts and insecurities. The first step to absolute mastery is the death of your own ego. If you are busy projecting your own importance, you are blind to the reality of the predator standing across from you. Listen to the air between the words. Feel the vibration of their hesitation. This is not empathy. This is intelligence gathering. This is the art of the cold observation. Law 1. The law of the silent sentry. Never be the first to fill a silence. Silence is a vacuum that pulls the truth out of the weak. When you refuse to speak, the other person will rush to justify their existence. They will offer up secrets as a sacrifice to appease your stillness. As Niccolò Machiavelli once wrote, everyone sees what you appear to be. Few experience what you really are. Most people are obsessed with their appearance. They curate a version of themselves that is brittle and hollow. Your job is to ignore the mask and look at the hands, the feet, the way the pupils dilate when a specific name is mentioned. People can control their tongues, but their nervous systems are honest. Look for the twitch in the jaw, the smoothing of the tie, the way they lean away from a difficult question. These are the tells of a mind in conflict. Law 2. The law of kinetic leakage. Every movement is a confession. The body cannot help but broadcast the internal storm. A man who taps his fingers is a man who is running out of time. A woman who touches her throat is a woman who feels exposed. Robert Greene understood this power dynamic intimately when he warned, when you show yourself to the world and display your talents, you naturally stir all kinds of resentment, envy, and other manifestations of insecurity. You use this. You do not display your talents. You display a void. You become a mirror. When you are a void, people project their own fears and desires onto you. They tell you exactly who they are because they think they are talking to a reflection of themselves. Patience is not a virtue. It is a predatory weapon. It is the ability to wait for the exact moment the fruit is overripe and ready to fall. Most people are driven by a frantic need for closure. They want the deal signed, the argument finished, the tension broken. You must thrive in the tension. You must find a home in the uncomfortable pause. Law 3. The law of calculated absence. Your presence is felt most when you are physically there, but mentally unreachable. By withdrawing your emotional warmth, you force the other person to work harder to regain your favor. They will reveal their boundaries by trying to cross yours. Consider the words of Carl Jung. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate. The average person is a slave to their shadow. They are driven by traumas they haven't named and hungers they haven't fed. When you observe someone, you are looking for their shadow. What do they hate in others? That is what they fear in themselves. What do they brag about? That is where they feel most inadequate. If they boast of their honesty, watch your pockets. If they boast of their courage, wait for the first sign of a storm. The dark Stoic is a student of human frailty, not out of cruelty, but out of necessity. To navigate a world of wolves, you must know the length of every tooth. You must understand that most kindness is merely a transaction, and most loyalty is just a lack of better options. This realization does not make you bitter, it makes you unshakable. Law 4. The dark mirror. Reflect their energy back to them with 10% increase in intensity. If they are aggressive, be colder. If they are manipulative, be more enigmatic. Force them to confront the absurdity of their own tactics by seeing them amplified in you. Seneca, the great pillar of Stoicism, taught us that we suffer more often in imagination than in reality. The people you observe are suffering. They are trapped in the imagination of their own importance. They are terrified of being found out, of being seen as small. You use this suffering as a lever. You do not need to threaten them. You only need to hint that you see what they are hiding. The mere suspicion that you know is enough to dismantle a powerful man's composure. Look at the eyes. The eyes are the only part of the brain that is visible from the outside. Watch the blink rate. A sudden increase in blinking is the sound of a brain trying to process a lie. Watch the gaze aversion. A man who cannot look you in the eye while discussing money is a man who has already stolen it. A man who looks you too intensely in the eye is trying to perform a confidence he does not possess. Law 5. The law of emotional entropy. All emotions have a half-life. If you wait long enough, the anger will turn to exhaustion, the passion will turn to indifference, and the lie will turn to a confession. You win by outlasting the emotional peak of your opponent. The ultimate goal of cold observation is not to win every argument, it is to never have to argue at all. Why fight a man when you can simply wait for him to defeat himself? Why expose a liar when you can let him weave a net so complex he strangles himself in it? You are the weaver. You are the watcher. You are the stone in the middle of the river that the water must break against. Do not mistake this for passivity. This is the highest form of action. It is the action of the mind over the impulse of the blood. You are training yourself to see the world as it is, not as you wish it to be. You are stripping away the sentimentality that makes men weak. You are becoming a master of the social landscape, an architect of the social shadows. Practice this tonight. Go to a crowded place, sit and do not look at your phone. Do not speak, just watch. Watch the way people occupy space. Watch the hierarchy of the room. Who is seeking approval? Who is granting it? Who is the real power? And who is just the loudest voice? Once you see it, you can never unsee it. The world will never look the same again. You will see the strings, and you will realize that most people are just puppets dancing to tunes they didn't write. You, however, have stopped dancing. You have stepped off the stage. You are in the shadows now, where the real work begins. Stay cold, stay detached, keep your eyes open and your mouth shut. The secrets of the world are waiting for someone silent enough to hear them. Subscribe to continue hardening your mind. Your journey to absolute mastery over yourself is just beginning. Stay sharp, stay cold, be unshakable.